Hey folks, my guest today is Josh Merriman. He's the revenue operations manager at a company called MessageDesk, where he aims to align sales and marketing goals with their product development team. He also led the sales team, where they scaled from nothing in MRR in Q2 2020 to 15K MRR and 270 customers by next quarter. So approaching that here quickly. Josh, you ready to take to the top?
Heck yeah, let's do it.
All right. So what is MessageDesk? What are people paying you for?
Yeah, so we're a business text messaging platform that helps small and medium-sized businesses grow their customer base, market affordably, earn more online reviews, and get paid faster through business text messaging.
And are you built on top of Twilio's sort of rails?
So we're actually built on top of Bandwidth, which is a Twilio competitor.
Interesting. Is that your biggest expense monthly?
Not really, just because the way we price, we're kind of taking that into account. We get charged about less than a penny per message sent, and we charge about 3 to 4 cents to our end user. So there's not a huge expense there in the grand scheme of things.
Do you know how many sends happened last month?
Yeah, so we do about 100,000 sends a month.
Wow. Okay, got it. Across how many customers today?
266.
266. Okay, take me into the story. You were there at day zero. Now, you're not a founder, but it sounds like you're part of the founding team, right?
Yeah, so I'm officially employee number 2. We have 4 co-founders, and I am the second employee. Me and the first employee came in at really the same time.
Okay, very cool. And what were you originally hired to do?
So originally I came in, I was a marketing person when we were interviewing and all that, but I had a background in web design and web development. So my first 3 months on the ground, I was actually doing software engineering, working in the code base, developing features, because at that moment we were such an MVP product that there was no reason to do marketing and sales yet. It was like we had nothing to sell. So it was all hands on deck from product development wise.
And what are customers paying per month today on average?
So right now our average revenue is about $52. We have 2 official plans. One starts at $39 a month, one $99. A majority are at the $39 range, with about 25 to 30% at the $99 range.
That's around 266 times 52. I mean, what you're doing 13, 14 grand a month right now in revenue, right?
Yeah.
And that's up from nothing about how long ago? When did you guys launch pricing?
So we officially went to market in February of 2020. Ending February, we had $200 in MRR. So from there until now, it's been consistent growth. In the world of SaaS, it's so crazy because there's companies that in that same timeline might do, $1 million in MRR or ARR. So we're not that big and we're not growing that fast. That's our goal though.
Very cool. Okay. So February is when you get going, $200 a month, now much larger than that. How did you get those first 200 customers? Do you remember?
So all of our sales and marketing is all through organic, just content. So we are literally just ranking on Google for keywords and people are finding us naturally. It's actually kind of funny because we're based in Reno, Nevada, but we don't have any customers in Reno, Nevada. All of our customers are in all the other states. So now we're kind of going to this local outreach because it's just a lot easier now that we have a full product. We have kind of our niche kind of aligned.
What's your top keyword that you guys intentionally are ranking for that's bringing in trials and customers?
Scheduling text messages. That is business intent, which is interesting.
Scheduling text messages. What's the second highest keyword? Do you remember?
Text to pay, text to donate, stuff like that. Things that are business intent around text messaging. Scheduling is usually correlated with like appointment reminders, follow-up, stuff like that. The casual front desk workflows. Text to pay is like the field service, home service people that are trying to literally get paid while they're on site.
Yeah. And how do you, when it's like scheduling text messages, I imagine there's a lot of very large companies with higher domain authority than you also trying to rank for that. How do you beat them? How do you outrank them?
Yeah, I mean, it's a game for sure. There's definitely a strategy of going after keywords that have high buyer intent, but maybe low search volume. Whereas our competitors, they might have the money to just put ads on these keywords and where they're not really competing in the actual content space. They're just paying Google to be on the first in that kind of ranking. For us, we typically show up, 3rd, 4th, or 5th in those searches. So we're not first all the time, but being 3rd to 5th, you get, 20 to 15% click through out of the total people that search it. So it's still enough there to make some money.
And how else can you go deep on these keywords where you're better funded and bigger competitors won't go as deep?
The big differentiator is through integration. So in the SMS text messaging world, we're the only company that's directly integrated with QuickBooks Online and Xero, which are 2 of the biggest small business accounting softwares. So in the text to pay realm, a lot of SMS people will offer text to pay, but it's not through an accounting system. So for most small business owners, if they're using QuickBooks Online, our competitors aren't actually a solution for them. There's no route in which they can do that, which for us, we just piggyback off QuickBooks. So when we do text to pay, it's just plugged into your accounting. We're not creating extra work when it comes to year-end financial balance sheets and all that.
It's almost like an invoicing tool, like FreshBooks, right, on desktop, but you're doing that just for text messaging, text invoices.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. Okay, makes a lot of sense to me. Talk to me about funding. Have you guys stayed bootstrapped or raised?
So we raised a pre-seed round. We've done just over $500,000 in funding to date. We were bootstrapped up until mid 2020. So
pre-seed, 500 grand raised, and do you have any idea, was that on a note or priced, or maybe not, because these are
it was a convertible note round.
A convertible note. Okay, very cool. Do you know the cap that was on it?
I do not know.
Okay, cool. Any plans to raise more capital to keep fueling growth or no?
Yeah, I mean, we're looking to do our seed round sometime at the end of this year, 2020, or early 2020, or not 2020, 2022, early 2022, probably more realistically. For us, we're growing consistently, about $1,000 in new MRR each month. So a new round is really just money in the bank where we can start competing with our competitors at the advertising level and really try and jump our conversion rates at that first initial touch point from 15% of people that search to getting to like 45, 50%. So that's really where that money would go. So for us, it's not an absolute need to grow. It's just a matter of, can we grow faster with the cash on hand?
How much cash is on hand?
Right now we have probably just over $100,000 in cash on hand.
Does that make you guys nervous?
Not really, because we're making, about 15K a month and we have a really low burn rate. Most of our staff, honestly, most of our staff are college interns that are either working as, for free because they're only working less than like 20 hours a week. Our paid staff, there's only 2 or 3 people that are really paid. And then our co-founders all aren't taking any money right now. So
it's like 7 people total, but that are full-time, and really 3 are paid.
So our burn rate in that sense is not bad. And we aren't, we're very confident in our growth to becoming cash even, breaking even in the coming months. So it's really where if we raise a seed round, it's all for extending our growth, not really to extend our runway.
Do you have other ideas of ways to extend growth besides, more competition on these SEO keywords? Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, for us, we were really hoping in 2020 to do trade shows alongside our big integration partners. QuickBooks Connect is a big one. XeroCon happens in Australia. FreshBooks is someone we're looking to integrating with sometime soon. And we never got the chance to do that, obviously, because of COVID, unfortunately. So we're hoping this time around, those become a huge growth lever, just because if you use QuickBooks Online, we become an immediate, no-brainer solution. We can automate all of your invoicing through text message, for $40 a month. And that's a really easy sale. But when you have to do it through organic content, you can't always guarantee that people searching use QuickBooks Online, right? So it's been a lot harder going that way.
Yeah. What about churn? I mean, do people run one big text message campaign then leave, or do they stick around?
There's definitely some customers that do that. Our churn rate month to month is about 6 to 7%. In our early days, first couple months when we were going to market, it was a lot higher than that because we really hadn't dialed in our messaging. We weren't going after the people that had, a consistent text messaging need. And that's really what separates us from the rest of the SMS field. Most people are going after text message marketing as their kind of content strategy and kind of their target market. For us, we're going after operational messaging. So if you're a real business, your operations aren't just, 1 month out of the year, they're 12 months. So for us, it's not a huge concern. It's just really about targeting at the top level, making sure we find the right people.
Interesting. And do you have additional product lines yet where you're able to upsell your base of 233 customers to other things? Or is that ARPU really stuck between that $50 to $200 to $300 range?
So right now it is kind of stuck. We are developing additional features, additional things to move to. There is this in the text messaging world, there's a lot of directions we can go. Do you go omni-channel, bring on like social media channels as a solution like Instagram and Facebook Messenger? Do you go the route of like doing text and email? We actually just launched a chatbot that businesses can put on their website. That's going to be an upsell opportunity. So there's a lot of ways to go. We're still very much in the research phase of that, of seeing where the market is, and because we don't want to jump in and start competing with like Intercom, right? Like that's not really ideal for us. So we're still in the very much like collecting feedback from our users. Like, what do you need that would make you more money and you would be willing to pay more for?
Very cool. And obviously, again, you're going to raise money to run for some of these experiments. How much do you think you might raise in Q4 this year or Q1 next year?
Our goal is around $2 million in funding if we were to do it. The amount of MRR we have going into that negotiation obviously determines how much money you can get, how much equity you're giving away at that point. So, we're trying to get as much MRR right now before we even start that conversation. That's really where we're at.
Yeah. What do you think you get MRR to before the raise?
We're confident we can get to 20K MRR. Okay. That's really our end goal for the year. For us, Q4 is really where we see a lot of our high growth months, because that's really when small businesses are evaluating their own tech stack and looking for new solutions.
Yep. This all makes good sense, Josh. Any exciting products besides the chatbot coming up you want to talk about?
So we just released last month payments automation with QuickBooks Online and Xero. So if you're a QuickBooks Online user, you can automate your payment reminders up to 30 days before, and your payment past due notices, and then thank you messages that happen anytime a customer pays. And all of this happens through their mobile phone, which we've seen convert payments at about 50 to 60% faster rate than doing it through email or mailing an actual invoice to someone.
Very cool. Exciting products. We hope you break that 20K mark. For now, though, let's wrap up with the famous 5. Number 1, favorite book?
The 4 by Scott Galloway.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
Stelly at Close and Zeb at ClickUp.
Yep. Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building a business?
Zapier is pretty awesome. And obviously ClickUp, we use that every day here.
Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
I'm trending towards 7. Before this interview, it was a lot less, but mostly 7.
That's good. And situation, married, single, kids?
I am engaged, soon to be married.
Very exciting. No kids yet?
No kids yet. Nope.
All right. And Josh, how old are you?
I am 24.
24. Last question. What's something you wish you knew 4 years ago when you were 20?
I wish I knew a little bit more about the go-to-market strategy, nailing a niche. We kind of approached this broad market idea thinking we could just dominate with features, and it's really not about that. It's about nailing your niche and finding the customers that would love your product.
Guys, MessageDesk helps businesses do text message marketing. They were doing $200 a month back last February, now doing $14,000 a month in revenue, hoping to hit $20,000 a month in revenue in Q4 this year, so they can go out and raise $2 million in a traditional seed round. We'll see what happens. Josh, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thank you, Nathan.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers. They try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company, or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them, and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.